What is good? What is good? Boxing fans, boxing critics, boxing analysts. This is Renee Box Young. How y'all doing? Early morning grind. It's time to go. It's time to work. Let's get it. Let's get it down. Let's get it going. Hey man, I just want to talk about you know, Bud Crawford gone wild. Y'all know what's going on. I don't have to explain all the tweets that he's been tweeting lately, but it's something that surprises me, and I think it's surprising the world. Everyone's going bonkers. Since last night. Bud Crawford saying some crazy things on Twitter. You know what I mean? And I just want to talk a little bit about it. All right. I just want to get my opinion on it. Just break it down just in my point of view. My opinion. That's all it is. My humble opinion. And as always, uh, first and foremost, I want to reiterate. You know what I mean? I'm not discrediting. The skills that Terrence Crawford has. Amazing champion, WBO welterweight champ. I mean, we got to respect that. You know what I mean? So. It's just that how he has been acting recently on Twitter. I'm gonna give my personal opinion in a moment, but I first want to just give a little introduction. As you guys already know, he's been talking recently. I don't know how many days ago, but he started just calling out Spence in a seems like in a desperate fashion. He's really really um, now recently we have his sister, right? Yeah, bless her soul. We got his sister, speaking up for him too, backing him up, which I understand. They're family, they're flesh and blood. We got to respect that. So, but now she's getting in the mix. Um, you know, talking about he ain't ducking from anybody, and he's right here, and it's a trip, man, to see how I've never seen this. I've never seen this from a boxer or from, you know, I'm not a historian or not like that. You know what I mean? I'm not a scholar in the sport, but I have not seen something like that. I have never seen, like, you know what I mean? Cesar Chavez Sr., legendary Cesar Chavez. I have never seen his, I don't know, sister or what have you, brother, defending him, calling out opponents that, are potential for him. And, I don't know, man, it just seems kind of weird how, Terrence Crawford's sister is like, but I understand, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it just seems kind of weird, it's interesting. And then we have also on social media, I guess it was his brother or someone, I don't know, his brother or something also, doing some call outs, for Terrence Crawford as well. So it just seems like, it's getting kind of awkward. I personally think that, Terrence Crawford seems like he's at a desperate stage, in his career as far as getting top names in the welterweight division. We have to go back and see that, you know what I'm saying? You have heard it thousands of times already, even though it's, this is all fresh. I mean, it's not too, you know, hasn't been too long that Terrence Crawford has been, saying these things on social media and really, really like, recently last night, I mean, by the time you guys hear this, will probably be, I don't know, but, he's starting to just go crazy on Spence, saying things like, we don't need no bleeping promoter. That they work for us. I'm paraphrasing, right? Let your bleeps hang and this and that, and let's get it done. And, I mean, Terrence Crawford, I put this in Twitter, I've been posting it, that Terrence Crawford, he's a very serious, as you guys know, he's a serious, I can't find the wording really, but serious, quiet, maybe reserved, I guess. He's the type of person that talks in the ring, which is awesome, which I definitely respect. And it's just, that's why this whole thing seems kind of awkward. How Terrence Crawford is all of a sudden just, I don't know, just tweeting away. Certain boxers are known for doing that. For example, you have Gervonta Tank Davis. He's known for, causing Twitter beefs. I guess that's what they call it, quote unquote, Twitter briefs, trolling, whatever these titles they put on nowadays in terms. Gervonta Davis is known for that, but Terrence Crawford ain't known for doing that stuff. You know what I mean? He's not known for calling people out. And then recently he had this little war with Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? It just seems kind of weird how Terrence Crawford is doing these things, and you know, he's it's just the world is you know, the boxing community is just like on fire right now. You know, Terrence Crawford he's even going to the extent of, you know, lashing back at fans. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about maybe his fans necessarily, just in general boxing fans, you know, that state their points, that state their views, and the typical you don't know bleep about boxing, right? I mean, that's the typical thing that, you know, people always try to answer to I don't know, you know, when it comes to arguments in this sport, you know, and within the community, right? And you know, you got Terrence Crawford even responding that, you know, and we'll go back, you know, I mean, we got to understand the source of this, you guys. We got to understand the source that Terrence Crawford, you know, he re-signed the Top Rank. Y'all know the story, and I deem this important to talk about, even though I've said it in one of my last videos. I don't cover Terrence Crawford, okay? I don't really cover him because for the same thing. I mean, if he keeps fighting opponents that aren't really up to par, you know, B level, C level opponents, arguably most of them were C in the welterweight division, maybe except Horn. That's even arguable. That's even arguable because you guys know that you know, getting belts in the division is Graham's belts are, you know, they're won in an easier fashion than the traditional manner of you know, winning belts in divisions. You know, you go back to historically, you know, most boxers fought for belts, you know, the hard way. They fought the top guys who had the belts, you know what I mean? And not like nowadays how politics. Let's just look at Anthony Joshua, just for example, right? Tyson Fury had that gang of belts, you know, them loads of belts, and what happened? You know, those Tyson Fury got in problems, and you know, he had to leave. He had to let them belts go. So and then Anthony Joshua fought easier competition to get them belts. So you know, I mean, that's why I say it's disputable. It's debatable as far as you know, Terrence Crawford beating Horn, but people call him C-level fighter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not degrading. You know, I'm not discrediting Jeff Horn, but I mean, he's not. I mean, you got to face it, guy. He's not. I don't think, in my opinion, he's not one of the top welterweights. So that's the thing. You know, that's the root of all this. And I think Terrence Crawford, he's feeling it. He's feeling the heat. You know what I mean? And he's feeling the pressure because he knows. You know what I mean? Boxers, athletes, celebrities, whatever, you know, actors, whatever you want to call them, right? Those who are, you know, in the limelight, you know, celebrity status. I mean, they see social media. They see, you know, in this day and age, guys. I mean, you know, social media is all over the place. So, you know, that's what people go to know what the public, you know, thinks about them and what have you, fans or whatever, you know. So I know Bud, you know what I'm saying, he's seeing all these things, you know what I'm saying? He's seeing all this and he knows, you know, what people are talking about him. And I think it's getting under his skin, man. I think it's getting under his skin. And he sees how many people are just, you know, okay, what happened with the recent video I did about him, you know what I mean? And that he was talking about going to 160 recently. No one's talking about that. You know what I mean? He was in an interview, clearly in an interview. And I think I put it on the link in that video in the description, you know, that he's talking about going to 160 now, you know, and now he's just crazily and out of nowhere, I guess he forgot about the 160 division now, and now he's just crazily calling out Errol Spence, you know what I mean? Totally ignoring the other top competition, you know, and now it's just a trip, man. I just see him desperate, and the point of this is that one of my points I want to bring out. This is a quick live, right? I just want to bring this out real quick. I think he's just getting desperate. Things are getting under his skin. He's feeling the pressure. Bob Arum hasn't really been Top Rank, hasn't been giving him the fights that, you know, he deserves. You know what I mean? With the top welterweights and the other rankings, you know, WBC, IBF. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think it's getting under skin. The thing here I want to mention real fast is that you know, Tony Harrison, you know, he was. A lot of people didn't point this out either. That Charlo, you know, before the rematch, everybody was saying that Harrison beat the mental game. Harrison is in Charlo's head. You know, Charlo's gonna lose. He's emotional. You know, Harrison got him. He beat the mental game. I disagree with that. I even made a video on my last, you know, on one of my live with my analysis on the Harrison Charlo rematch, and I was saying that Charlo it's on the contrary, man, that Charlo is in Harrison's head. Charlo is the one who's getting under Harrison's skin. And I think this is the same thing, man. Errol Spence, he's not nearly tweeting as many, he's not nearly tweeting as much as Bud is. Just look at the digital behavior. The digital behavior here is that Spence is just, every so often, not as often as Spence. I'm sorry, as Bud, nearly as often as Bud tweeting. Spence just puts one little tweet, and then Bud Crawford puts like 20, and then he responds to fans, lashes out to boxing fans in the boxing community, saying you're full of bleep and this and that. You don't know bleep about boxing. Hey, come on, Spence. It's not about the promoters. About that bleep and this and that, and he's just going off, man. Who do you think is winning the mental game? I think that Spence is winning the mental game, you guys. I mean, it is what it is. Bud looks like the one who's getting, he's getting irritated. You know what I mean? And if that builds up more and more, you guys saw he went down by Green Machine or Mean Machine, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever that title that dude has, with all due respect. You know what I mean? But you think he can actually, if this builds up more and more, he's not going to fight, maybe as impressive if or whenever this Spence Bud Crawford fights goes down. So hey, I just wanted to bring this out real quick in a quick live. I'm about to go out of town, do some business, but hey, it is what it is. Renee Box Young, like, subscribe, share. What do you guys think, man? This is just really interesting. It's really interesting, and I've been opinionating also on Twitter. Miraculously, Bud hasn't lashed out on me yet, nor his sister. I respect that. That's cool. I'm just humbly giving my opinions, even though they sound harsh and offensive. They're just my opinions, man, and I do it with all due respect. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. We'll see what these days unfold. We'll see what's going to happen, man, with this whole saga. Bud Crawford gone wild. Renee Box Young, peace. Share, fam. Thank you. Nice. That's how I do. You're all nice.
No, it's cool, really.
That's how I do it, man. That's how I do it.